In this video, we're going to look at some Collection Manager FAQs. So the agenda is to look at some Collection Manager frequently asked questions. So the items we're going to cover is, can you do patient collection activity from Collection Manager? Why do some denial lines not show up in Collection Manager? So you must have posted the denial, but they don't show up on the Collections Manager. How can I add an appeal letter to Collection Manager? And we are also going to look what reports show Collection Manager activity, which is any nodes or follow-up nodes that is added from Collection Manager, which reports would show those activities. So let's look at these Collection Manager FAQ items. So the first item is do patient collection can you perform patient collections from Collection Manager? And the answer is no. The Collection Manager is actually an insurance follow-up tool, and so it cannot be used for patient collection activities. For the patient collection activities, you have patient reports, patient AR reports that you can run for the patient collection activities. For your insurance follow-up is what you can use the Collections Manager for. So I just opened up the Collection Manager. So as I mentioned, this can only be used for insurance follow-ups. So even if you look at the filters here, which is the more filter, the only option that you would get here is due from insurance. So it can only be used for insurance follow-up. The next question is, why do some denials not appear in the Collections Manager? And so it's kind of related to what I just mentioned about the patient collection activities not being able to do from Collection Manager. So only the due from insurances would show up in the Collections Manager. So if you have a denial that you posted, but the denial was put to a bill to patient status, you would not see that line show up on the Collections Manager. The line will only show up in the Collections Manager if that denial is still in an insurance status. If it is not in an insurance status, if it is a bill patient or a bill to guarantor status, it would not show up in the Collections Manager. Also, Collection Manager is a tool for working your AR. So if the denial line was closed or written off, that will also not show up on in the Collections Manager. Next is, how can I add an appeal letter to Collections Manager? Now you have a way to generate an appeal letter from Collections Manager. So I'll just bring up the screen. You can see there's an appeal letter option, and if you click the appeal letter, it kind of brings up an appeal letter for you to print from here. At the moment you can only have one appeal letter, but we do have an enhancement coming into the system very soon that will allow you to add or use additional appeal letters or more than one appeal letter. To add the appeal letter for use in the Collections Manager, this is what you could, or this is how you could do it. So again, you would need to go to the letter master. So that's where any letters or any of the letters are set up in the letter master. So in the letter master, you just need to add a letter or have the letter, a new letter added, or an existing letter. You can edit an existing letter and put your content in that letter. And on the group code, you have to use appeal_letter. So that's how, when you use the appeal underscore letter, that's how the system um, makes this letter available in the collections manager. The final item in the collections manager FAQ is how can you have reports show, or what reports show in collection manager activity. So the reports that show the collections manager activity are, of course, the collector reports will show the collection manager activity. So I'm going to open up the report central here. Of course, you will have the collections manager reports like the G3 collector report or the G5 show some collection, or G5 show some collection manager activity. Collector G3, of course, will show every um, collection activity that was any node or all activities of the collection will be showing up in the G3. In addition, you will also be able to see the collection activity in the detailed insurance aging report, the D2 report. Uh, that report also shows any collection activity that were activities that were recorded from the collection manager will also show up in the D2. Another additional report that shows up the activity is in I8, which is summary and counter line activities report, that will also show the collector activity. So these are primarily the 4 reports where you can see them. So that was all in the collection manager FAQ.